finance isn't always the number one thing when you're trying to get laid. It may be the number one thing if you're trying to consider marriage, but over here we're coaching getting laid. So finances don't always come to the top. They can help. You know what I mean? It can play a big part.
Can you dig my vibe? Can you dig? Can you dig my vibe? Can you dig? Can you dig my vibe? Little bitch, little bitch.
What up, guys? So today we'll talk about why it's important to have game. And to do that, we'll start off by defining what is game. Game is the tools you use to get a woman's attention and keep her interested in you. Now, it's 6 main components that are normally played in the game. Not to say that there are not more, but there are 6 main components that you should focus on, and 6 main components that, most guys play, whether they knowingly play or unknowingly play. It's going to be mainly these 6. And we'll just get into the list and start it off. The first component is your style game. That's the way you dress, the way your clothes fit you, the type of shoes you wear, what kind of style you have. That's the first thing a woman will see on your approach is your style game. So if you're going to do a lot of cold approaching, you definitely want to make sure you have your style game on point, because when you go somewhere to a social setting, especially a social dating setting, maybe like a bar, where women may be looking, they're looking for you to make that approach. So they probably scoping you from across the room, and they're going to check you out from head to toe to see what kind of style you have. You know what I mean? So if your clothes are all raggedy and your shoes are busted, you're lowering your chance of actually closing the deal. Okay, and the next one we got the grooming game, and that's how you cut your hair, how long you keep it, or how you rock your beard, whether you shave, whatever, wherever, you know what I mean, just your grooming game. And you want to keep that right too, because some women, they don't want to see a man with a scraggly beard. You know what I mean? You can have a long, nice James Harden beard, but definitely keep it groomed. You know what I mean? It's you don't have to go clean shaved. I know some guys, they might rock a clean shave, no beard, which is fine, but make sure that you at least practice some type of grooming game. I know some guys will wait and go and get a haircut once a month. Well, you know what I mean? You look rough around the edges, and you're not really up on your grooming game. So it'll be good to add that to your arsenal to up your game. You know what I mean? Next we got the hygiene game, and that's how you smell. You know what I mean? Women's noses are typically more sensitive than men's are. So a man that smells good can get a woman's attention. You know what I mean? Just based on smell. Not just smell alone, but that smell can get her attention. She might not even be facing you, but if you smell good enough where she smells something and she like, oh, that smells good, she'll turn around and, you know what I mean, seek you out and see what she smells, what it is. So definitely be sure to add that to your arsenal as well. Then you got your financial game. That's your nice car, your nice house. And that can even be the type of clothes you wear. It may be your designer clothes, your nice jewelry. You know what I mean? Just those little status symbols that kind of let the world know, like, okay, he's doing okay in life. And I know some people have the fake whatever, and this ain't for them. You know what I mean? We're talking about the real, authentic, you know what I mean, that financial game. If you really have it, if you're playing that game, because finance isn't always the number one thing when you're trying to get laid. It may be the number one thing if you're trying to consider marriage, but over here we're coaching getting laid. So finances don't always come to the top. They can help. You know what I mean? It can play a big part in sealing the deal, but it isn't always number one. And what else we got? We got the clout game. This is where you may know a celebrity or an athlete or an entertainer, and you're close to them, and you run in their entourage, and they typically have a lot of women chasing them, and women typically run in packs. So you get women through your clout. Oh, because you know him, you already have a pass. You know what I mean? You're good to talk to one of the friends, or you know what I mean. You're in the dough that way because of your clout, and you might have your own clout. You might be the celebrity, or you might be the athlete or entertainer. You know what I mean? That might be you. That's the clout game. If you play that game, you know, like especially if you got a blue check on these social networking sites, if they can see that you're verified and you're really about your business, you know, that's the clout game. You definitely have a better chance of getting a response from the eight, nines, and dimes if you're in that arena. And then the last one that's most common and my personal favorite is the mental game. And this is how you talk to women, how you treat women. You know what I mean? That can be the difference between sealing the deal and not sealing the deal. Like you can play all the other aspects of the game well and then suck at the mental game and you lost her, or suck at the verbal game the way you talk to her and you lost her. You know what I mean? So that is definitely the biggest component of the game that you want to focus on. And I'll do a separate video later on the mental slash verbal game, because you have to remember that interacting with women, that's a game. You know what I mean? Your competition is going to be her standards and potentially the other guys around her that are approaching her. But you will have competition. It is a game. So get out of that, oh, I'm not competing mindset, because you will have to compete. This game is for competitive males. If you go out to a social setting, a bar or whatnot, the woman you have your eye on, there's somebody else with their eye on her as well. So that's why if you work on this skill set, these skills that I'm giving you now, you up your chances of actually sealing the deal. It's like we'll compare it to like basketball. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and just work on just your shot, or work on just passing, or work on just dunking, or just three. No, you got to work on, you need a well-rounded game if you're trying to become that superstar. You know what I mean? LeBron James doesn't just pass, or LeBron James doesn't just shoot. You know what I mean? You have to work on your passing, your dribbling, you need IQ, you need an arsenal, you know what I mean, to call on, because sometimes the defense ain't gonna give you what you think you're gonna get. And that's just like women. Sometimes she not gonna be attracted to what you think she's attracted to. Some women might like the financial game. Some women might like the mental game more. Some women like the style game. It all depends. But if you have your game well rounded, you know what I mean? You work on all aspects of your game, especially these main six components, then you have a better chance of getting out there and becoming an all-star. And I want to advise anybody, if you're watching this channel, if you're here, if you found this channel, get out there and talk to some women. I'm going to do another video on this as well, because guys, if you haven't talked to enough women, you smell like a rookie, and you do not want to smell like a rookie in this game. You know what I mean? Having game is very important, because that's the difference between her leading the conversation and you leading the conversation. And you always want to be leading the conversation. You always want to make her feel like you have more experience than her. You got something you can show her, not shoe on the other foot. She got something she can show you. No, that's not the position you want to be in, because you're setting yourself up for her to pick a better option. That's all you're doing. You know what I mean? You need to make sure you put yourself in a position where she feels like, okay, this guy's got the experience. He got something he can teach me. That's where you want to be, especially in this game. But having game is, it's very important to remember that this game is about arousal. Don't try to get too much into the friendship level. You know what I mean? All of these six pillars of game, except the last one, the mental game, but the first five will get you in the door. And you determine whether you're gonna play on the dateable team or the friend zone team. I don't want my guys on this channel playing on that friend zone team. This ain't what this channel is for. If you're following me, it's about getting laid, sealing the deal. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So make sure that you are intentionally working on your skills and you're intentionally not playing in the friend zone. That's not the part of the game you want to be in. You riding the bench. No, sir. We don't do bench riding over here. Either we starting or we moving on and trying out for another team. Matter of fact, they trying out for our team, but we're talking just from the stance of playing the game. You know what I mean? We don't bench ride over here. You know what I mean? If you're following me, I'm coaching you guys to get out there and seal that deal and make yourself more attractive at any financial level. This isn't the level up message. No, this is you can do this exactly where you are. It doesn't take much effort to just make sure you have on some decent looking clothes. You don't have to go out and buy the latest and the greatest and the most expensive. No, this is make sure that you are well put together. This is make sure that you groom yourself. Make sure you get a haircut. Make sure you smell nice. Go back to the basic fundamentals. Just like basketball or any sport you play, the fundamentals will always be better than the flashy stuff. You'll get there. You know what I mean? That's next level. But make sure your fundamentals are intact before you try to move on to the more advanced parts. But work on all six, though, because the more components of this game you can add to your arsenal, the higher your percentages are going to be out in the field. This will definitely translate into real life numbers. And that's all I got for you today, guys. Keep watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Can you dig my vibe? Can you dig? Can you dig my vibe? Can you dig? Can you dig my vibe? Little bitch, little bitch.